Our project is called Vika, named after our former editor-in-chief. It was a last gift to her as we were replacing her with AI. No, we were not replacing her with AI, but to understand what we've done over the past months, you have to understand the challenge that we face. We're a pan-European newsroom, which means that we have in every single country in Europe, we have a correspondent that writes for us. Not very regularly, but that means we have a big team, but we don't have a lot of time of teaching them our ways. And especially in our case, like it's quite difficult to write a story that is interesting and relevant for all of Europe. Like, why should someone from Portugal read about Lithuania? And we have a clear audience strategy. We have a tone and style guide, but as it's very understandable, journalists lose sight of that when they write a story, as they already have to make thousands of decisions every day. The idea of Vika now was that when we looked at what AI already does for journalism out there, is that most of it that we saw was focused on actually writing something itself. So ChatGPT, as the famous example, is mainly focused on writing the text itself. And that's the thing that our journalists are best at. So what we thought, what would be more helpful is to have it more like an editor that adds comments while you're writing something, and so that one basic editing round can already happen before you submit the text. Because oftentimes it's the same mistakes, but because you have to already decide so many things, it's very easy that one of these decisions, you just don't consciously make. So increasing the number of conscious decisions, that was one of the goals of this project. One of the underlying challenges that we found that with all these kinds of AI projects is obviously that if it's just happening somewhere else, it's probably not going to be used. So if you have to copy paste that into a different window and then it doesn't really work backwards, whatever, that kind of stuff, that doesn't really help getting the newsroom on board with that kind of AI. So we really knew that we have to build an environment where it's baked into it. So without further ado, I just show you how it works. You can see here our CMS system, where I've now built this in a staging environment so that I can mess around without messing our live website. So as a journalist, as you're writing your piece, you can click Analyze, and what you see here on the side is that these dots will show up. I've created this mistake here on purpose. I've copied in here just a Wikipedia definition of buy now, pay later. And this is really dry. This is not how we write. This is not our style. And the AI immediately catches that and gives you a comment saying, hey, this is an intro comment to the text. This should be personal. And then our journalists know what to do. It's just a matter of noticing. Here you have another example where we wrote about here about the Swedish bank, but it never actually says that this is a Swedish bank. You just have to probably guess that it is, and you also don't know if it's important, whatever. And the AI then recognizes that hey, here for a Swedish person, this is probably clear. Like if that text is written by a Swedish person, it can easily happen that someone just assumes that this is common knowledge. But then we have this kind of comment that tells you, hey, maybe reconsider this, maybe add some explanations there. And you can see that all these comments are based on all the guides that we've ever published on the the initial pitch of the story, so we know what the actual promise was of the story, and just our experience of what kind of mistakes repeats time after time. Under the hood, what we've built and what works for us is a system where we have these mini agents, so that it's not just like one make it better thing, but it's really trained on specific examples. It knows what exactly to catch, and that made it way better. And now our entire newsroom runs on Vika. It has been a huge success for us to build this system. And what we're now planning to do is adding more of these mini agents, evaluate them, improve them, and make this AI even more powerful. So giving it access to knowledge bases, etc. Yeah, thank you so much for having this opportunity.